Today, we're diving into how technology is trying to map the accessibility of our entire world. I mean, these amazing new tools are being built for millions of people, which is fantastic. But they also bring up this really fascinating and honestly pretty complex question. What does the word accessible actually mean?
So, think about it. When was the last time you just decided to go somewhere? A new restaurant, maybe a weekend getaway, or even just a different coffee shop on a whim? For most of us, right, that's just normal, that freedom. But is it really a given for everyone?
Because for so many people, whether they have a disability, are getting older, or are just parents with a stroller, a simple outing is, well, it's not simple at all. It's a full-on research project. You're making phone calls, you're scouring websites, asking, will there be a ramp? Is the bathroom actually usable? Can I even get through the front door? That constant uncertainty, it can make the world feel a whole lot smaller.
But of course, this is where technology steps in, promising to help. Let's talk about what I like to call your own personal pocket accessibility scout. These are the apps and tools that promise to do all that homework for you, right on your phone, and turn all that uncertainty into real, usable information. Okay, so one of the big ones is called TR for All. Think of it as this huge global database of places like hotels, restaurants, and tourist spots. And here's the key. The information isn't just coming from the businesses themselves. It's built on the real, first-hand experiences of other travelers, just like you. Then you've got Wheelmap, which has this beautifully simple approach. It's basically a map where every place is color-coded. Green means it's fully accessible, orange means it's kind of accessible, and red means, nope, not accessible. It's so clever. It's like having thousands of people on the ground reporting back with a system that anyone can understand in a split second. And then there's Access Now, which kicks things up a notch by bringing AI into the picture. Now, this is really smart. Instead of just showing you a list of user reviews, its AI is actually learning from all that information to spot patterns and give you more reliable, real-time info about a place right where you're standing. It's constantly getting smarter with every single contribution. So, what's the bottom line here? All these tools are designed to do one main thing: swap out that stress and uncertainty for confidence. They give you the details, the real user reviews. They even work when you're offline. They give you a way to plan, and in doing so, they hand back that possibility of spontaneity that we were talking about. Okay, so these apps are clearly incredible. But that begs a really important question. Where is all of this game-changing information coming from? Well, the answer isn't some big tech company. It comes from what's known as the power of the crowd. Right, so where does it come from? It's not city officials, it's not a central mapping agency. The engine behind these amazing tools is, well, it's us, just regular people, all chipping in. So how exactly does that work? It's a concept called crowdsourcing. The term was actually coined back in 2008 by Jeff Howe. And the idea is actually pretty simple, but it's also kind of revolutionary. You take a huge job, in this case mapping the entire world for accessibility, and instead of hiring one expert, you just open it up and let anyone and everyone contribute their little piece of the puzzle.
And what's super interesting is who exactly makes up this crowd. You'd probably assume it's mostly people with disabilities mapping things out for their own community, right? But get this, based on data from one of these platforms, almost half, we're talking nearly 50% of the people adding information, don't have a disability themselves. This whole effort is so much bigger than you might think. Now, that sounds fantastic, doesn't it? The more people chipping in, the better the map will be. But this is where things get complicated, because it uncovers this hidden, tricky problem with the word accessible itself. Is something that's labeled accessible always actually accessible? And this, right here, is the million-dollar question. What does accessible even mean? Seriously. Because what it means to you might be totally different from what it means to me. And, as we're about to see, what it means officially in, say, Brazil is very different from what it means in the United States. This is where it gets messy.
Just look at this. This perfectly illustrates the problem. What you're seeing are the official building standards for handrails. On the left, you've got the Brazilian standard. On the right, the American one. They are both official, both trying to do the same thing, but, they're obviously different. Let's break it down real quick. The Brazilian standard says you need 2 handrails at 2 different heights. The American standard focuses on just one top rail, but has very specific rules about how far it has to stick out. There is no single, universal, right way to build an accessible handrail.
So, if the experts can't even agree on one single standard, how can we expect a crowdsourced app to? This subjectivity opens the door to a whole other can of worms: bias. A famous, if pretty extreme example of this was Microsoft's AI chatbot, Tay. It was designed to learn from talking to people online. It started out saying things like, "Humans are super cool," but in less than a day, the unfiltered input from the crowd taught it to post truly horrible, hateful messages. It's a really stark reminder that the data you get out is only as good as the data you put in. And look, this isn't always about bad intentions. A lot of the time, it's just human nature. It's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Basically, it means we tend to overestimate how much we know about things. Someone with the best intentions in the world might label a place accessible because it seems fine to them, completely missing some crucial detail they just don't know to look for. So, if this crowdsourced data can be subjective, if it can be biased, does that mean the whole idea is flawed? Not at all. It just means we need to get smarter about how we contribute. It's about being part of the solution. The answer isn't to just give up on these incredible platforms. The power of the crowd is real, and it is a huge force for good. The solution is for each of us to become a better, more aware contributor. It's about adding quality and context, not just clicking a button. So here's your mission if you choose to accept it. First, be specific, like really specific. Don't just say a place is accessible. Talk about the ramp, the space in the bathroom, the height of the tables. The details matter. Second, try to think about others. Remember, accessibility isn't one size fits all. And third, add context. A quick photo or a comment like, "Hey, the ramp is great, but the door at the top is super heavy," is infinitely more useful than just a green checkmark. You know, this whole idea really echoes the founding vision of the internet itself. Tim Berners-Lee, the guy who invented the World Wide Web, said its power lies in its universality, that it has to be accessible to everyone no matter what. That vision applies just as much to the physical world we all share as it does to the digital one. So the next time you're out and about, you're not just a customer or a visitor, you're a potential scout. You have the power in your pocket to add a tiny piece to this massive global puzzle, to make the world a little easier, a little more certain for someone else. So the only question left is, what will you put on the map?